Thank you so much. We continue with our first keynote address on the topic of transforming the economy through education. Please join me to welcome Cristina Nolasco of Platzi.
Hello, hi everyone. Good morning to all. It's super exciting and I'm super happy to be here with you this morning from Platzi. It's so heartwarming to be here in the context of the Summit of the Americas with so many young people with new businesses, new ideas, new projects. And I'm here to tell you that this is how Platzi started. Platzi started as an idea between two young guys, Freddie Vega from Colombia and Christian Vanderhens from Guatemala, who had a crazy dream to change Latin America. And today, Platzi has become the largest edtech in LATAM, training millions of people, professional online education, and changing millions of lives. It became a sustainable, a scalable business model. And to tell you more, I leave you with Freddie Vega, CEO of Platzi. Please help me welcome him. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, everybody. My name is Freddie Vega. I am the CEO and co-founder of Platzi. And at any point in time, there will be slides at my sides, I think. I had a question in the meantime. Who of you speak Spanish? Just raise, oh, nice. And who of you don't speak Spanish? Don't worry, it's fine. You 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could technically do it in Spanish, but then I will make you feel bad, right? It will be okay, don't worry. Spanish is cool now. My name is Freddie Vega. I am the CEO and co-founder of Platzi. For those that you don't know, Platzi is the largest technology school in Latin America. What we do is state education for every single professional in Latin America. The reason why we do it is because Latin America is a gold mine of talent. We have 650 million people, of which 260 million are in the age bracket or conditions to study something related to technology, engineering, science, math, etc. And we have several unique things that are only possible in Latin America. First of all, we share the same time zone. And in a remote world, that is fantastic. We all work in the same time zone as the largest consumer market in the world, which is this one. We also share the same culture. This doesn't happen anywhere. A Spaniard and a French cannot be friends immediately. It will take a while. But someone from Paraguay and someone from Mexico can be friends immediately. Someone from Peru and someone from Bolivia can do business immediately. We share the same culture across a very large, massive continent. And we speak, with the exception of Brazil, we speak the same language. But even Brazilians speak Portuñol, so it's fine. And at the same time, venture capital in Latin America has seen a dramatic rise. And yes, right now we're in like a financial apocalypse that is imminent and everybody is extremely afraid. But it is true that in 2014, only $500 million were invested in total in the region. Then in 2020, it was 4.1 billion. And now in 2021, it's 14.8 billion. And not all of this will go to founders buying Lamborghinis and Ferraris. They're not that expensive anyway. It's like $500,000 to $1 million per car, and it's like 1,000 founders, so it's like $1 billion. So you still have $13.8 billion after 1,000 Lambos to invest in the region and to invest in talent. This is already changing everything. And this is already creating a very important trend in the way that the economies of Latin America are shaped. The reality is that all jobs, regardless of what you think, will become technology jobs. Every single job that you see there, I don't want to read it all, but it's lawyers to founders. Everybody is working in something related to technology or in a tech-enabled business. It's absolutely unstoppable, undefinable, and you should keep in mind that this is happening in a region where only 48% of houses, of families, have a computer. Not 48% of people, 48% of families have a computer, something that was very obvious during the pandemic. And Latin America has its own issues. This is something that I saw yesterday. What share of children are not able to read with comprehension by the end of primary school age? In high-income countries, it's 9%, which is dramatic, but in low-income countries, it's 90%. 90% of kids graduate primary school without being able to read. Man. And that is the other issue of Latin America. Professional education in Latin America is inaccessible and insufficient. We have 260 million people that need this, that are ready to invest in tertiary higher education, and they will not be able to do it. Only 17% of people in Latin America within these age brackets are able to enroll in higher education, which means that the vast majority of people will have to live their lives with a high school diploma. We don't think about them a lot because we work in offices, but they are the ones driving the cars that take us from point A to point B, serving us in restaurants, or just in the background keeping the economy alive and working with a high school diploma. And Latin America is a place where access to higher education is the minimum ticket to get to the middle class. Otherwise, you are condemned to poverty forever. According to the OECD, for 5 to 10 generations, if you're born in poverty. And if you take all universities and all boot camps combined, only 100,000 people graduate from science, technology, engineering, and math careers per year. The demand is 1 million per year, and we graduate 100,000 per year. And this carries on forever. So what we build at Platzi is hopefully the solution for that. It's, imagine if you were able to have asynchronous the kind of knowledge that you will get in computer science, in marketing, in design, in careers specifically focused on tech jobs, but for less than $1 per day, and that it works. Because the real issue of online education that you probably saw during the pandemic is that online education doesn't work at all. I'm pretty sure that all of you have tried an online course at some point in your lives, right? Especially in the past 2 years of almost the end of the human race. And I'm pretty sure that most of you never finished the course that you started. On average, the completion rate of online education is less than 10%. At Platzi, 70%. We found a way to make this work, and we found a way to make this work at scale. Not only that, but we're getting to an audience that nobody else gets. For half our students, when they pay for Platzi, it is their first time that they're paying for something online, ever. For this half, they come to Platzi earning minimum wage. Minimum wage in Latin America, it's around $300 per month. So in some cases, some of these students are sacrificing a whole month of salary to be able to get a year of education at Platzi. And what happens later is very interesting. Our students arrive to Platzi earning between $4,000 to $8,000 a year on average. And after 1 year, studying 1 to 2 hours per day, asynchronous, they will increase their income 3x to 10x for life. Which, if you see it like that in the multipliers, 3 to 10 times, sounds explosive. But when you think about the salaries in the tech industry and the humongous desperate demand that the industry has for talent, it's actually pretty simple. It's $12,000 to $50,000 per year. It's absolutely realistic. And the median salary for professionals that graduate from universities in Latin America, it's $18,000 per year. So it's a dramatic increase that not only lifts these people out of poverty, but it will lift their communities, their families, and everybody around. Because when you see that your friends are suddenly learning something called Python and changing 2 or 3 brackets of income, everything changes and people are not stupid. They will follow. You can just search the word Platzi on Twitter. Not right now, maybe like in 3 minutes or so, and you will find these stories all the time. We are seeing stories. Ana de Caña from Venezuela, she went from being a waitress to a front-end developer in the UK. Julian Martinez in Colombia learned growth marketing from nothing, from just high school, and bought his own house recently. Flavio Cesar from Mexico was a construction worker, and in 12 months became a data scientist. There are so many, many more, and we're seeing them every day. Truly, if you search for Platzi on Twitter at any point, and just click on latest, you're gonna find a relentless outpouring of love at every moment in time of all these students and all their stories. We have 3 million students all around the world. We have one of the largest YouTube channels and one of the largest communities, both in our own platform and externally. I think the only 2 channels that are bigger than ours are Harvard and Stanford right now, and it keeps growing every year. We have also students that become startup founders. So far, since Platzi started, we've seen 34 startups raising more than $1 million in venture capital from students that started their companies studying at Platzi. 30 startups that do more than $1 million in annual sales, and 24 startups funded by Y Combinator. Y Combinator is the largest and most important investment fund in Silicon Valley. And in the past 2 years, Platzi has been the largest referral to Y Combinator globally. We have even seen 3 startups that are doing more than $40 million in annual revenue, and they started as Platzi students working in Latin America. We work with as many partners as we can. We're working with the Inter-American Development Bank, with several governments. Many universities train their teachers, not their students, with Platzi. And we work as official providers on online education for almost every large technology company out there. And the reason why it works is because we combine the quality of production of a masterclass with the community of places like Reddit. We have the professional on-demand classes. This is extremely important. Live, synchronous education online doesn't work. You're just replicating what you see in the classrooms. This doesn't work. It works for this because we're like, it's fun to come to a place. But for online education, live, synchronous doesn't work. That's why it has such low completion rates. What we do is asynchronous education, but it's community-driven. It's all the knowledge, all the know-how, all the lessons that you have learned from, for example, gaming communities. For example, the communities that you see discussing on places like Reddit, on forums. This is knowledge that has been common knowledge since the start of the internet, but for some reason we really want to replicate what happens in a classroom, even though it was invited 200 years ago by the Prussian Empire that doesn't really exist anymore. And we combine that with modern technology, with interactive projects, and with tutorials, answers, and tips driven by the students themselves. So it's a combination of content and interaction that happens between professional teachers and the students. And it's its own cycle that fits itself. We have these free students that become paid subscribers. Some of them will start companies, and a lot of companies will also come to us to upskill their teams and to hire our students. We will, through this, identify the best students, the top 0.1%, and place them in these companies. So we are powering the tech industry of Latin America, and now, thanks to remote work, the tech industry of the world through the whole system that we have built. And this stopped working. Oh no, there you go. Was it this? Yes, this was the one. And we are, right now, at an inflection point for education around the world. At this point, it should be pretty obvious that what we were doing in the pandemic will never allow us as a region to neither catch up or go above. It is very rare for countries to just do the same that other developed countries did and catch up, because everybody's doing exactly the same play. We need to do something different, and both the pandemic, remote work, and the reality of how the digital industry works allow us to see that there are alternatives, and we're trying in Platzi to help be the catalyst for those alternatives. We're seeing right now people everywhere creating their own jobs, their own careers in ways that just didn't exist. But there are also realities that we are not okay with accepting. Like, for example, this will never happen with smartphones. Smartphones, these things that we all have here, are fantastic, and also they're consuming devices. 0 people in the tech industry use a smartphone to create. They may use a smartphone to communicate and to coordinate, but people creating computers, and people in Latin America don't have computers. Only 48% of families have a computer at home. 52% of families don't have a computer. This was very evident when the pandemic started, and a bunch of teachers were trying to bend reality around WhatsApp to be able to teach through these systems, when what we need is a computer with a keyboard, because keyboards are absolutely necessary to create. We can create a whole region that are excellent consumers through the use of touchscreens. But if we want to create a generation of creators, they gotta have computers. They gotta have a keyboard and something, a trackpad, a mouse, doesn't matter. Without this, it will not happen. And without some other stuff. What we have identified while we talk with our students, what we have identified when we try to see how we can increase the impact and the level of access that we give people about professional education, we find that there are things that are outside of our control. The main one, which will become the most important thing that we'll see in 2022, is food safety. And it will get worse because of what's happening right now. Food safety is absolutely fundamental because it's most often the single most important thing that kids need to just read and learn. It is kind of amazing that we still don't have this, at the very least, at the primary and secondary school level. We also need connected computers, not connected tablets. Touch screens touchscreens are good enough if you're trying to give people something to consume, but people do not create. And yeah, some will say, of course, there are some people that tweet on Instagram and stuff, but you will never see a professional building an app or creating a whole marketing campaign just through a phone. You eventually will need a computer and it has to be connected. Thankfully, the connected part is getting better. Truthfully, Latin America in the past 4 years has been jumping ahead of everybody else in terms of connectivity, at least for the kind of GDP per capita that we have. We also have to find a way to create a passion for reading. One country fixed this in Latin America, which is Argentina, and I really have no idea how they did it. Besides Argentina, I think it's a cultural thing, I don't know. Besides Argentina, nobody else. We just don't read. We just don't, and I know that people here in the US is like, oh no, the US is the worst country in the world because blah, blah, blah. No, we really don't read. In Latin America, we don't read at all, except Argentina. There has to be a way to fix this, and there has to be a way to fix this fast, because it is the most effective, scalable way to learn anything. And we probably need to find a new social contract around high school. If something was evident during the pandemic, is that the money that your family has affects in a dramatic and unfair way the outcomes while you're in high school. And the current model of high school, that again was originally built by the Prussian Empire 200 years ago and eventually perpetuated by the British Empire, all of these empires don't exist anymore, and it's not based on science. There's no reason, scientifically speaking, no paper that demonstrates that the right way to teach is in a 12-year cycle, putting 40 people in a box. There's no single paper that demonstrates that this is the way. The reason why we do it is because that's how we pay teachers. It has nothing to do with quality of education at all. But I think because it's the way that we pay teachers, it is politically not impossible, but extremely hard to change this. So we need to find a better way, and we need to teach them English. Question for the people here. Just scream the number. What do you think is the percentage of people in Latin America that speak conversational English? Scream the number. 5, 10, 12. Who gives more? Come on. 15, 0. No, 0. Come on. It's 6%. 6% of Latin America can speak English like me. And I don't have a great English. I have an okay English. 6% of Latin America can speak English. 94% will have the standard excuse, no, I get it, I understand it. I don't speak it, but I get it. But 6% of Latin America speak English. And we are in the same time zone as the largest consumer market in the world. A consumer market desperate for talent, desperate to hire anybody. Do you know JavaScript and a meat hit in your body? Just come here, have $50,000 per year. Desperate. And we don't get access to that explosion of growth because we don't speak English. India doesn't speak English either, but they speak more English than us. And so they get it, even though they're in a totally different time zone, totally different, and a wild different culture. We watch the same movies. We listen to the same music. We share the same culture. We are in the same time zone. Latin America should be awash with venture capital money. And we're not, because we don't have these 5 things. We're working on it. We launched an English Academy, and I know that everybody in the industry is trying to help. I've talked with Luis from Duolingo a lot about this. It's getting better, but we're very far away from there. Eventually, we will get there. So, in short, what we're trying to achieve here is to make Platzi the engine transforming Latin America into a tech economy. An economy that is no longer tied to natural resources and manufacturing. That runs out, and it will run out faster than we think. If we are able to instead leverage the human talent that exists in our nations, which is our true renewable natural resource and probably the most valuable, then we will be able not only to leapfrog anything else that we have been doing in Latin America, we will be able to transform our region into a technology superpower and probably find the best, most scalable way to break the cycle of poverty in our region. And that's what we're building for the past 5 years. A platform, a school, and the strongest professional community that we have in the region. Thank you very much. That's Platzi.
Thank you so much, Freddie, for that very enlightening conversation.